Okay.
Oh, hi there, everyone. You don't even
We're
know what
trying
we're
something
laughing
new.
about. That's what's so funny.
Yeah, I know. So we're just having some fun here at Two Psychic Moms.
Well, happy pre Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day. Whatever else rhymes with that, I don't know. I have a.
Yeah. Happy pre. I just thought I'd get ready for it. So
I'm just like, you have to tell me these things ahead of time because I just
I
forget.
know I will. It, honestly, it was, I mean, as far as my background, literally last minute, I just, thought, grabbed a red shirt in the
So,
background. But yes, I will.
just to say, it is Tuesday, February 7th,
Hmm.
2023, and we're two psychic moms, and this is Tammy Langowski. I'm gonna laugh again.
Yes.
Maybe I think I'm pointing the right way. So what we're laughing about is when we record, it's like the opposite of what you see when it's not the opposite of what you see, but when if how I see it on the screen, if I were to point at Tammy this way is how I see it on the screen, but how you actually see it is when if I point this way. Never mind. Just never mind.
Confusing.
So that's what
Confusing.
we're laughing about.
Yeah, we're having some fun with that. So anyway,
How can they find us?
yeah. Okay, so we're two psychic moms. Julie and I both offer private intuitive sessions. So for me, you can reach me on my website, probably the best way, tammysintuitive.com. I have a contact form. You'll find lots of channel messages that I do on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook is Tammy's Intuitive Services. And how about you, Julie?
Uh, Julie at juliehawkins.com, Julie at bizpsychic.com. They're all the same. Sure, if you're my friend, you'll know me on Facebook. And I don't post a lot on my bizpsychic Facebook page. I'm just not, I just don't love it. I'm sorry, Paige, I don't love you. Um, but I do try to post these videos, a link to them there. So, and Tammy and I are really busy with readings. And so, of course, you can catch me for reading. And I'm just going to say this now instead of waiting till the end. Oh, no, it's a little kitty wandering out front. So easily distracted, right?
Oh,
Exactly, squirrel it is. I have a special going for 20% off a reading, and it's through, I think it's through the 15th. And so and here's the code. It's 20% percent sign. So 20% sign for love, number 4, love. All lower kind, I don't think the case matters, but there's no caps or no caps. Caps or no caps. So it's 20. I should just do this. Maybe that's
well, you know what, too? We'll note it. We'll note it when I do the,
oh, good
yeah,
idea.
yeah,
Oh,
we'll put
excellent.
that. So don't let me forget. In fact, I'll make a note. So Julie's coupon. Okay.
Good through the 15th. So I thought I'd spread a little.
Yeah, we'll do that too. Or you can show it, but also, yeah. Well,
Percent off is a lot. So I'm just going to say that. So
yes, it is.
enjoy. Um, okay, so we are finishing off some questions today. We've got some from Daphne, Daphne, thank you so much. I mean, and Janae too, both of you, for just your inquisitiveness, your bravery for showing up to ask these questions,
Mm-hmm.
and for supporting us in doing this, because we appreciate
Yeah,
it.
we're grateful. We're super grateful. So bring those questions in, everybody. We love to get them.
All right, now why do I have 2 of these? I don't know. All right, so oh, I think that's a very old one. Okay, so we're going to pick off where we kind of do it chronologically. So we start with Daphne because questions are old now. They're not really old. I mean, none of these questions are old.
Yeah.
I just love how I can just go off on.
You're
So
entertaining. You're entertaining us.
oh my God, I'm sure I can do that without intending to do that. So here's Daphne's first question. When you mentioned that next year, and
Yes.
I need a moment. I'm sorry. Just anyway, she says when you mentioned things would be chaotic, next year, in what ways will they be chaotic? Will there be more war? Will there be will we be endangered of losing our democracy? Will there be more polarization? In what ways will we feel or see the chaos? So that's really all one question. And how long will the chaos last? So she's really asking. So last time, actually a few times ago, my guides had told me that this quarter was going to, show some prosperous growth, and boy did it. I'm just going to say that. I mean, we had a great unemployment number, and then a huge amount of jobs. And believe it or not, I really don't watch the news that much anymore because I can't stand it. So I just kind of pick up on these things here and there. But and then we also, stock market bounces up and down regularly, but overall, it's been quite prosperous and growing again. So thank you. Because when they tell me things, I'll be honest, when they tell me things like this, I'm like, really? You want me to say that? Because that scares the hell out of me sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, and so Tammy doesn't really necessarily like to answer those questions, but sometimes her guides show up and say, yeah, we're going to talk too. So that's the way this is.
Yeah.
So the bottom line here is, what's the status now, I guess? Because when I check in, I feel like it's not quite as bad as it was when they first told me about this, but this year is still they said, there's a scene in one of the Harry Potter movies. I'm such a nerd, right? Where he says they're on the bus to go to Diagon Alley, and the guy says, "Watch out! It's going to be a bumpy ride." So
Well said.
it's going to be a bumpy ride, and it's going to include some of those things that you talked about. We are not in danger of losing our democracy. In fact, if anything, they're saying to me, we are stronger in our position of keeping it and fighting for it. This is not going to happen.
Mhm.
So we're to answer that question, we are not in danger of losing. I mean, at some point, there's always a danger, right? I mean, anything could happen. But at this moment in time, they're saying that is not the case. You will keep your democracy. There's just too many who see it's really about a ratio of 2/3 to 1/3 of your population that see that there's just all the crazy stuff going on, and they're just tired of it and they don't want it, and that has to do with your government and I mean our society at large, really. Our society. Well, that's another whole conversation. So anyway, um, so chaos. They're tempering that word just a little bit. Instead of saying chaos now, it's more about just a lot of they said the Bickersons, a lot of bickering, a lot of bickering in politics, a lot of bickering among people, but less so now. We are heading into it will still be here throughout this year, really. Because in your system in the United States now, people are going to start announcing for, or already have, for a president. Who on earth would ever want that job? I don't know. Right? I mean, why would anybody? It's such a truly a thankless job, and it's like
Oh God, yeah,
no matter who you are
absolutely.
to, it's
Mhm.
never right, and it's never enough, or never going
Yeah,
to.
absolutely.
Got to have a strong constitution for sure, and no ego, and
Yeah.
that's just usually
Right.
that doesn't usually happen. So
Right.
but so yeah, you're gonna see that this year, and that's gonna cause some of these wild rides and bumper cars, and they're showing me all kinds of wild things. So
Hmm.
that's just the way it is. Um, too early to get to next year, so I can't. If you're asking who's going to be president, I can't tell you. They cannot tell you. So Do you have anything for that so far that you want to?
I think, I mean, if anything, I could just kind of look at the sort of the chaos idea of 2023, the energy more of anything. Not necessarily things specifically, maybe, but let me just tune into our guides about that. Chaos, we'll use the word chaos in 2023. Yeah, it's up and down for a while, is what I'm hearing. It feels like things start to change and shift maybe in June. I'm not one to make predictions, but if I hear something, I just, that's the snapshot, as we've talked about before, of what I'm seeing currently at this time. And it feels like then it's like we might even get a real leveling off after, I don't know why June, after June, where it kind of almost dropped. This is how I see it, like it drops down and then it goes like this. So it feels like there is a little bit more. They're definitely at the beginning of this year. There is just this jumbled energy, is what I'm feeling in general. And it goes across everywhere, the world, basically, in many ways. That's what they're telling me anyway. And it feels like in time it will start to even out. So most importantly, I guess I want to ask them guides is what do we all need to do during that time? What's the best approach that we can have? I'm sorry, I just glanced at my thing and I'm just laughing how this heart looks like two Mickey ears above my head. Wait, let me do it like this.
Yes, excellent, excellent. I love it. Oh, okay.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
Now that I got that out of the way. Okay. It really is a heart. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, so they're saying, okay, so what can we do about it is what I was going to be looking at. So they're talking about grounding, okay?
I feel better. Okay.
Yeah, now we're matching. Now we're matching. I love that. I love that. This looks so cute on you. And so grounding is definitely what I'm hearing. This is a good time for all of us to be practicing our meditation or just breathing or, all the things that you can do to ground. Because like Julie's saying, it's a bit of a bumpy ride. And so why not be grounded so it's not quite so bumpy? I feel like after June, we get a little reprieve from that sort of energy, maybe even to the end of the year. I don't know why, but that's what I'm getting. Then it just went back to May, June, something like that. So this first part can be for us personally and on a planetary level for both is what I'm getting. Yeah. So I think that's true. I can say for myself that's probably true. Yeah. I mean, the chaos, maybe if we want to call it chaos, is kind of that's sort of happening now.
Yeah, they're kind of revising that word. I mean, when this first came to me, I mean, it was back in November, I think. And so it really did feel like chaos at that time, but because of this, so I'm just going to say this, what they're saying to me is because of this first quarter being as healthy and as kind of as good as it gets. I mean, those numbers that they talked about are like numbers we haven't seen since like World War II or I don't know, I'm making that up, but in many decades. And so things are really taking us in the right direction that way. Um, but it is going to level off, and then there's going to be more of this bumpy ride. So yeah, we agree with that.
Yeah, so and I want go ahead. I'm sorry, Julie.
And it doesn't really feel like chaos anymore. It just feels like bad children behaving badly. The bigger
just jumbled for me. It's like jumbled energy, kind of just jumbled energy. But I got this when you were talking about, and then I was getting that May, June again. I got this really beautiful love feeling that came over me. The kind that makes you a little teary, right, for a moment. So that's good news.
Yeah, I wonder.
Let's expect that then. Let's expect that. Okay, that this,
and what do you think it has to do with?
Where is that love coming from? I mean, I know where it's coming from, but you know what I mean, guides, for like this other half where.
Or what does it do?
There's a relief. I feel like there's a relief and there's this compassion that is heightened and a sense of joy. I'm hearing even. So you know what I'm going to say again? Let's grab that. Sounds good to me.
So
make it an intention.
So, sometimes, this, because there's a lot of up and downs at this, it's hard to say how long it's going to last and where it's going to, because, it's changeable. It's changing often, but
Right.
even in this first quarter, anyway, so I think we said that all. But then Daphne asks, how long will the chaos last? Is this a forced recession? The recession feels like a forced recession because the government overprinted money to cover for COVID expenses. Where did all that money really go? Um, they,
That I can't answer to. That's yours, Julie. Yeah, I
so
don't go into those. So
here's here's what I'm not sure how much of this will be me and how much of this will be them. Um, what I know is that, and it comes from them, so I'm just going to tell you that. What I know, and I'm saying this for me, is that because of COVID, had we not issued loans, PPP plans, all of that extra money, as badly planned and executed as it was, and it was, but then again, there was a huge mess to come into. Not that that's an excuse, but that was just the circumstances that your president came into at that time. So a lot of that money was scams. It was stolen in ways. It was yeah, not very, very poorly planned and executed, and that has now caused a lot of problems. However, what they're saying to me is, had you not done that, you would have an immense homeless problem. I mean, bigger than you can even imagine, and chaos that you cannot even imagine. So it was the right thing for your government to do, even though it wasn't done in the best way. So you can always find ways to make things better, but that was the right thing to do at the time. We never, she says, they forced this recession to control the inflation. I feel there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in the media to cover up what the government is doing. How long will this recession last? We're not in a recession. It's never been called a recession, and it doesn't have the standard metrics and data points. Ever use that word? um, to be called a recession. It isn't a recession. It is a correction. Oh, thank you. It is a correction of those out of that outpouring of money to stabilize what otherwise would have been just a breakdown in your in everything, in your government, in your culture, among people, health systems, everything would have collapsed had that not been done. So while it wasn't done in the best way, and there were certainly major problems associated with it, you're not in a recession. You're not going to go into a recession. You're kind of at this place where you're almost to the summit, the peak of what you need to overcome. And so we think that will happen this year. Oh, I think you're right, because I didn't say that. That just did not come out of me. It scares. I told you, sometimes it scares me when they say things like that, because I'm like, okay. So
yeah,
there's a lot there's a lot wrong in your country, and there's a lot right. And it is a case of you all practicing what Tammy just talked about, of doing the work for you and in you, because it will then radiate out. And the more people who do that, you don't need to even think about sharing it. It just happens naturally. So do your work. Be that person that you I think Gandhi said, be the change you want to see.
Mhm.
And when you do that, oh boy, it will go viral. There will always be contrarians. There will always be people who are, they're not even just contrarian, they're not playing with the full deck. And then there are some who are just, there's a range of intelligence and there's a range of sheeple, right? I love that phrase. And so there will always be that because we're all here to have different experiences, right? So, yeah, no recession. Anything you want to add?
No, that's not really my cup of tea area. So I'm good. I'm good. I've said before, I probably should say that I don't really care for politics, or anything political. So I generally don't even tap into it. My guides know that as well. So
And
anyway, so if you don't hear me say much about certain things, it's just because it's just not my thing. Yeah.
well, and the bottom line is every person filters, no matter how good we are to move over and let this information come through, we do still filter through our own human structure. And so my structure is all about fairness and justice. And it's a big issue, not a big issue, it's a big characteristic for me. And because
I think you got the Libra placement too. That makes sense, doesn't it? Throwing some astrology in there, right? It's either moon or I forget what you told me.
I think
Rising? Moon?
yes,
I'm not sure.
one of those might be my rising. Anyway,
Yeah, maybe it was. That, yeah, no, I'm just saying that. Yeah,
and so
it's lovely.
it has always been an important aspect of who I am and what makes me angry and gets me upset and gets me, passionate. Oh, did I look like Mickey? I don't know. Or in this case, Minnie. But
Yeah.
it's because politics pisses me off, to be honest. So
And see, I go like this. I go, oh.
yeah, and that's
I always have. I'm just like, I glaze over with the politics. It's just like, I think because there's so much ego involved. And I don't like the ego thing. I mean, none of us are totally void of it here being on the earth plane, of course, but at the same time, I think that's what it is for me. It's just, oh,
and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
yeah. Heavy energy is another way I would say. This heavy stuff that I don't like. And I just personally don't like it. I mean, like I said, we all have our likes and dislikes. And
Well,
yeah, anyway.
I don't like it either, but I fight for certain things. So anyway,
Yeah. Right.
do you have Janae's question, or do I still have the question?
I'd have to hunt for it, unfortunately. And I know it was basically about the age of Aquarius, what it means.
So I
I
don't think
mean,
I think we asked Janae. So let me read the full thing. It's very short, but she says, "Thank you, ladies, for the video and welcome back. Can you, ladies, give us an energy check on the planet?" Which we haven't done, and we probably should and would do that, right?
mhm.
She says, also, we have entered the age of Aquarius. And can you discuss what that means and how things will start to look in the 3D? And so here's where I will start with this because I I don't know anything. I know very little about astrology and the ages and the planet. I know enough to when I was learning sound healing and my forks are tuned to the vibrations of the planets. That's how I learned about the planets. So I know a few characteristics, and that's about it. Um, and I think we asked Janae, what did you mean by 3D? Because I think we said this, that we live in 3D. Are you thinking about the fifth dimension? I'm not sure. So again, I wish you kind of clarify what you mean by that, because I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But feel free to talk about Aquarius, and then I'll see what my guys are saying.
Okay, age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius, guides. Age of Aquarius. What I'm hearing is there's nothing really different than what you're seeing now. So, but this age of Aquarius is about humanitarian, humanity and humanitarian efforts. It's about coexisting together. and researching, seeing what ways we can come together to combat. They're even showing me humanitarian projects on the earth. So we may be seeing more about, well, let's give the example of like homelessness, something like that. There's other things too, but that's one thing. So it is about what can we do for one another? What can we do for our friend? And what that's going to look like on a bigger scope is that they're showing me pockets of people, pods of people that are really focusing on certain different efforts. And there's more collaboration and there's more emphasis being put on that. Whereas before, some of it has been a bit in the dark, in a sense, they're saying. Now there's going to be more light shown on that. So we might find that there's going to be a shift from certain awarenesses or certain things that we've been looking at to more, yeah, they're showing me again, like, I'm trying to put words for what I'm saying because they're kind of showing it to me more, but like, humanitarian projects. I'm just going to say that again. They're showing me going out where people like go to, a certain country, and they try to help them. We just feel that there's going to be a lot more emphasis on that. And so it's almost like some issues are being set aside and more on that. Now, they said it can also be brought back home. And what they mean by that is to us individually. Just laughing. And that's good because it can be about what can we do for our, fellow man in general. What can we do for, how can I help my neighbor? How can, it's how can we come together and do more? So this is going to be projects I hear too, just projects, more emphasis on that kind of thing. I'm seeing the ocean. So, environmental issues as well. And what more can be done? So we're shifting, they're saying, or maybe has it already happened, guys? Is it happening now or is it going to be shifting? It is happening at this time. It's never not happened because obviously, right, we are doing these things. But we feel there's going to be more emphasis around the whole idea of age of Aquarius, is what they're trying to tell me, and what that might mean. You're certainly expanding your vision and you're welcoming more new ideas, more innovation and innovative ideas are going to come to fruition so that mankind can benefit from these tools that may be either invented or ideas that are coming to light that are going to potentially help the planet on a large scale, as it won't be in just one location of the planet. It's something that can be used for many. So this is okay. Thank you, guys. So they start to say this. So this is a time for introspection, thinking outside the box, working with your own intuition, and honoring your intuition. They're showing me because there's many, many smart people out there. They're saying many of you have really great, intelligent ideas. We're going to emphasize the word intelligence because that's almost like what this is about. How can we take something, make it better? Some of you are already doing that. This is, again, not to say it's not happening on some, to some degree, but I feel like there's more emphasis on that. And again, they're just showing me, let's make friends. Let's be friends. Let's be a friend. Let's make friends. Let's make connection during this time.
Excellent. Wow.
And they just blew you a kiss, literally.
Yay. Yay. I love it.
So that's what we're getting.
It just feels good, right? It just feels good. What I heard was there's going to be more. I mean, you're seeing it now, and you've seen it for decades and centuries, really. But there's going to be more of a step up to gain more equality. There's been people who have risen up who want to quash that. They and again, it shows up in your politics. It's sadly, it's very driven by that. And so you're going to see more people stand up and say, no, we're not going to have this anymore. No, 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 no. And let's hope how soon will that be for us? Because with the ending of Roe v. Wade, and I mean that really made women not just second class citizens, that put their health at risk in so many ways, not just about abortion. Unfortunately, that's the way they promote it, but it's not just about that. So yeah, when are we going to see more of this push for equality? They said it has been going on, but it's going to escalate and ramp up in a positive way. It's kind of, I don't know if you look in this is I got to tell you, I mean, I must have been 5 or 6 years old when I heard this phrase, but and some of you will have never have heard it, but if you look back and review some of the things that went on during the period of the Vietnam War, which started well before any of us were born, because it started with the French. It started with the French. There was a slogan that came out about make peace not war, make love not war, those kinds of things, and you're going to see more of that energy. It's a process, so it's just a process. It's not a big, oh look, it happened. It's not going to be that way, but that's what we're getting. That's what you're going to see from our perspective. So again, that's kind of the energy I get about that too. So.
Mm-hmm. Good. It's a good question. Yeah, too.
Janae, if you can just clarify for us what you mean by, because I don't know what that means. What will things start to look like in the third dimension? I'm very confused by that.
Yeah, I was a little bit too. So yeah, if you want to clarify, that for us, we can talk to that then.
And then maybe what we talked about will spur some other questions for you too, because that's how we roll.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so that's it for our questions today, and I guess we're done, right, Tammy?
Yep, I think so. Thank you again, everybody. We always welcome those questions, and we love to dive in and tackle some of those interesting ones. So thank you for those who have been doing that.
Even Abraham Hicks loves to answer questions. That's how they got started.
Yeah.
Jerry Hicks was the big questioner, and he invited that in. So yeah, I mean, anyway, yeah, send us questions. All right. Until next time, we're two psychic moms, and we'll see you at our next episode.
Yep. Happy Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day.
Lots of love.
Take care. Yeah.